Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Q&A podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Avant. I'm here with my main man, Quintin Mikell. Q, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Back at it again. Not as happy this time, but we're back at it.
Yeah, it's not much to be happy about this week. I'm going to keep smiling for you guys, let you know we still have hope. Before we get into the game versus the Commanders, I want to shout out to Jeff and to Adam, to Josh, everyone that's working behind the scenes inside the Birds. Make sure that you're emailing your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Also, follow us Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can catch these podcasts on Amazon, also Apple, and also YouTube, Inside the Birds YouTube channel. Click the link for Q&A. Also, the other shows that we have, the pregame show, the postgame show, Inside the Birds, their podcast. Everyone on our channel is giving out great information. So make sure that you follow us. Trey, Adam, and Jeff and I had a great time for the pregame show. Got into some nuances of the game. It was great stuff, just like Q and I do. So make sure that you follow us there. Q. Right into it. Commanders 32, Eagles 21. Commanders coming to the game, losing record 4-5. However, they were playing really well, lost the late game versus the Vikings. Taylor Heineke doing just enough to keep the team alive. They believe in them. There's a lot of things that the Commanders did right in the game. Our team totally underperformed. What's your overall thoughts on just the way that we played?
Yeah, we've been kind of slowly building up towards this. I think, especially last week against the Texans, we started to see a little bit. Saw a little bit of against the Cowboys. Even at the first game of the year, Detroit. The power run game, we kind of started to see it start to become an issue for this team. My overall thoughts on it. I mean, it is one game. Let's not, go too crazy. But what is troublesome is the way it happened. I mean, because we're getting towards the end of the year, and you're going to get into the playoff. We're talking about playoffs. This is the kind of football. This is the kind of game it's going to be in the playoffs. No turnovers, good defense, power run game, ball control. Like, that's what it's going to turn into. So in the grand scheme of things, yes, it's just one game, but looking at the overall picture, I think it's very troublesome.
All right. I'm going to get into my thoughts of it, but before we get into that, do you think that the Commanders and the Texans have given the league the template on how to beat the Eagles?
I think so. But the crazy part about it is the template. I mean, the template's been the same template since back in the day. I mean, the template that's football. It's normal football. It's ball control. It's good defense. It's run the ball, ground and pound. Like, that's been around since the beginning of the game. And so I think the overall, I think most teams have been trying to do it throughout the season. I think this is the first time where this Eagles offense was not able to overcome the deficiencies of the defensive game, the deficiencies of the run game on defense, the inability to be able to get off the field on third down. This was the first time where it came up and it bit this team in the butt. But grand scheme of things, if they can figure this out, I think they'll be all right. What do you think, man?
All right, so two things, right? My big picture takeaway is a very sloppy game from our team. Didn't come out to play from the first kickoff. From the kickoff, the guy took it back 40 yards. We got helped out with a holding call. Yeah. Play after that, the defense go out and stop them. Our special teams let us down again, run roughing the kicker. They get a new set of downs. We sack and get the ball back. But throughout the entire game, whenever we had momentum, we shot ourselves in the foot with 7 penalties for 75 yards. We also shot ourselves in the foot when it came to drop passes and or slips and or uncovering. First time I've seen the receivers lose their one-on-one matchups collectively, and it shouldn't have been down to that. We lost some one-on-one matchups, and it normally doesn't happen like that. So Jalen had to play a perfect game And guess what? Jalen played an extremely good game. Like
Yeah.
when you go back and look at the tape and you look at the throws and you look at all the things that he did, he played an efficient game, put the ball in spots. Guys didn't come back to the ball. They weren't interested in competing like they normally do. So overall takeaway, we made too many mistakes. Yes, Brandon Graham's penalty was a penalty. Um,
Yeah.
Dallas got a fumble, was a face mask. Still shouldn't have fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
So Quez, like that. That's a very unfortunate play because as soon as he gets up, he looks over to the left and looks at the guy that he think is the last man in pursuit, not realizing that there's a guy right behind him. So I understand that play more than any of the other turnovers, but still got to protect the football. Right.
Yeah.
So whenever we made an effort, it was something that we did. So my overall, it was just a sloppy game. And now the template to beat the Eagles, yes, I think that you have to play to the strengths of your team and also the Eagles' weaknesses, which is running the football. We talked
Yeah.
about it. There's a reluctance of our guys wanting to get up there. I will say that the secondary tackled much better than they did last week.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because last week it was the secondary as far as not getting up to the line of scrimmage. This week, the D line looked like they didn't know what gap integrity was.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to say. And where the linebackers? It don't matter about the linebackers if they can get to the second level.
Absolutely.
And they were getting to the second level at will. At will was the commander singing on the second level. So yeah. So let's get into some X's and O's. I don't want to get too far ahead.
Okay.
Last question. Can a loss be a good thing? Now.
I mean, I think it can. From everything I've been seeing, everything I've been reading, it seems like this undefeated thing, and a lot of that comes from the media, from us guys talking about it. It seemed like that was something that was kind of weighing over the player's head. It really shouldn't be that way. It really should be just line up and go out there and execute my job and let the rest handle itself. But it seems like the outside the locker room talk was kind of weighing on his team a little bit. So in that sense, I think it's a good thing, in the sense that two things. It's something that obviously everybody wants. Everybody wants an undefeated season. That's over with. Now it's done. It's over with. Now let's move on. Let's get back to playing ball. So I like that part of it. I think it was good in that sense that now the guys, the worst can happen. The worst has happened. They've lost. They've lost one game. Now they can get back to doing what they want to do. And the other part to me that's good, that's coming out of this, is that exposure. Like when you go out there and you get exposed and you go out there and you show and you put on film the exact way that this team can be beat, that's where guys got to start to buckle down. That's where, when we talked about last week, when you turn on that tape and you're the one that's not filling that hole, you're missing those tackles, you're not getting off blocks as a defense, and you're getting exposed. This was on Monday Night Football. The whole world saw it. I got all kinds of texts from all my buddies that are fans, from Cowboy fans and Commander fans, talking trash to me. Like, everybody saw it. So
And that's the worst part of it. To me, that's a good thing. To you, to me, that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing, because it was a nationally televised game. Go ahead and complete your thought. I don't want to cut you off.
yeah, no, that was it. I mean, that was it. Everybody saw it. So now the word is out. So
yeah, to me, that's the worst thing. And that's the part that pisses me off the most. Anybody that's watching this, is because you hate to lay an egg on national television. You want to show that your armor is strong. You want to put up your best foot forward when all other 30 teams are watching you guys play that night, and all of the people are scouting, that you want them to leave that game like, oh, that's going to be a bitch come and play in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want the message to be. You don't want to go out there and lay an egg and look like a normal team and look mediocre and look beatable and look like you got deficiencies. That's the last thing you want. Now you've already galvanized the troops for the other team. Now they're saying in their mind they're beatable, rather than you going out there beating the brakes off of Washington. And then people are like, yo, I don't know if we can do this going into Philadelphia, right? So it's a different framework. So when you have a bad game, you want your bad game to be at noon. You want your bad game to be at 1 p.m. while all other, another 10 games are going on at the same time, right? You want your games to be bad, and then they just gloss over it for a little highlight here and there for Sports Center. You don't want your game to be like, oh man, I'm looking forward to this game Monday night. So that sucked. Then I was like, dude, you guys wait until this time to play like that.
You say they want to be playing in Munich at 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah, you want to have your bad game in London, where 5 people up in the States. Shoot. All right, we'll get to the Mojo read after the third topic. Q. Okay. Let's go right into the Commanders. You want to go ahead and bust it?
Yeah. So the final score 32-21. I mean, they had that last score at the end, so it really was a lot closer than that. What in your mindset, like from watching that game, where were the breakdowns, like the major breakdowns in this game?
Well, one, it was a horrific game plan by Jonathan Gannon. It was a horrific game plan by Jonathan Gannon. Okay, so that's number one. So you got 9 sacks on this team last time. You dial up a few blitzes. You thought the same defense was going to work on this team. That team is growing.
Yeah.
Different quarterback. They're able to look at multiple games that you played. They're able to come up with the scheme. The part that I didn't like about it was just the lack of aggression at the line of scrimmage when it came to the secondary players. Why in the hell you got Darius Slay matching sides and you going zone half the time? What's the purpose of that? Keep the man on the same side of the field. If you're going to bring him to Terry McLaurin's side and play zone behind it, that makes no sense.
Yep.
Right? If you're going to make a dude follow him and let him play man to man.
Yeah.
Okay? The entire game. How many times am I going to see Terry McLaurin, who is an excellent route runner? He pieced Gardner Johnson up something nasty on the corner route on the 3rd and 5 in the second quarter. I got it on my highlight tapes, right? Gave him the ooh child, gave him one of those, right? So and so you can't have Terry McLaurin, which is a really good route runner, against Gardner Johnson. If you're gonna match him. All right, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
Is it me, or is it you, or is it my eyes, or does it look like that our defensive line has gone from buying into individualism?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that the defenses that I've seen run, I know that when you recognize that a team is running the ball on you, there's going to be some gap integrity. There's not going to be 100 miles an hour off the ball of trying to get into a gap lane, get into a gap, rather than controlling blocks and not allowing people up to the second level. That's me from an offensive perspective.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that our defensive line, when it came to stopping the run, was as bad as it gets.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And it's got to be the mentality. I've said it all the time. I've said it. I've heard it since I was playing. Is you got to really, you got to get to 3rd down to be able to rush the quarterback. You got to do what you got to do on the 1st and 2nd down to get to the opportunity to be able to get after the quarterback. It doesn't start on 1st down. I don't care who the quarterback is, especially when you go into the first half. Well, we gave up over 100 the first half, right?
Yeah.
100. And so it's kind of a gift and a curse when you have so much success early on with the turnovers and the sacks, is that now guys are starting to count them stats. They're like, okay, let me get a sack. I got a rookie quarterback. He's not a rookie, but a young quarterback, guy that hasn't been in there a whole lot. Let me get after this quarterback. But the stop the run is a team game. It's a team, a total defensive effort to get this run game stopped. And you're seeing guys, I don't want to say selfish, but you got guys that are not, like you said, holding their gap integrity. Last week, it was the secondary guys not filling the gaps correctly, not coming up and making blocks. This week, I don't even know what that was. I mean, I'm just going to put it as the Commanders just wanted it more. Maybe this Eagle defense just felt like, hey, we could just step on the field and just run them over like we did last time, and let's get after it. But when you had that success of the first game with the 9 sacks, guys are thinking, hey, I'm gonna go out there and get me some more sacks this week, and that's not exactly what it's not gonna be like that every time you play a team, no matter what. Like you said, they're gonna get better each week.
And then the lack of variety on. They had someone wide open on all of their third downs.
Yes.
The first 4 or 5, there was just zone. Like they'd act like they were playing man, then they played zone. It was easy pitch and catch. Yeah. The next few times, it was man, and they just found the guy that was off.
Yep.
Right? You know the ball coming to you. You look across there, everybody is pressed. The quarterback is taught to go to the person that's off. The ball coming at you. Yeah. Right? So it was that. Then they got away with a few pick routes. You're going to get some of those. You're going to get 1 or 2 of those. Then Darius Slay got beat a few times. Perfect throws behind Tyler Hunt and Terry McLaurin. Got beat a few times, right? So you expect that. You just don't expect them to give up yards without being challenged, especially a defense that we've seen that's been challenging everything. Now let's switch it to the other side of the ball. Our receivers, for the first time all year, lost their matchup. Yeah. For the first time all year, the Washington secondary, St. Juice, Kendall Fuller, Curl, couple dudes, I don't even know where the hell they came from. Right? Lost the one-on-one matchups to the Commanders secondary. Now, and what I mean by that is that they were mostly in zone, but they were the aggressors. They were the aggressors. There's times where our receivers could have came back a step to the ball. When do you know that A.J. Brown let the ball get to his body? When do you know Devontae Smith let the ball get to their body? No, they go and attack the ball. The Commanders were the ones attacking the ball and knocking balls out and being more aggressive in the back end when our guys were more passive. And that's just something that you don't see. And I didn't expect the Commanders, out of all teams, especially after the first performance, definitely motivated to come in. I'm not going to say dominate our receivers, but they won that matchup. And that's usually something that you don't see. Because Jalen Hurts played well enough to win the game. If I'm looking at Jalen Hurts' like stats and or watching the game completely out, he played good enough to win. There's a few throws that were behind. They still made those throws that they made the catches when they were behind. The one that A.J. Brown went right through his hands, yes, it was a tough catch, but it's either a catch or an incompletion. You hit off your hands, go up into his hands. Quez, catch a deep one, get a fumble. Devontae not come back to the ball. A.J. Brown sliding and stuff around. Dallas Goedert fumbling the ball. Like, it was just way too much, too often. So I believe that their secondary handed it to us.
Yeah. And to me, this is the most frustrating thing too about watching this game. Miles Sanders had 12 carries, for 54 yards. When you have a game like this, a tight game, a game of ball control, a game where a team has a defense that's getting with you a little bit, an offensive line that's getting with you a little bit, run the ball. Just run the ball.
4.6. We averaged 4.7 yards a carry.
That's crazy.
We averaged 4.7 yards a carry. We only ran it 20 times.
I'll never
They had the ball longer than us by double. They had it 40 minutes. We had it 19 minutes. 40 minutes and 25 seconds, I believe it was. 24 seconds, 19:36. They had the ball longer than we did. Right? So they did their job of keeping the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands, because we have been able to score some points. And we would have been able to score a lot of points, but every time we were driving, here come a turnover. Every time we were driving, it's a drop pass. Every time we were driving, it's a penalty. It was just something one after another. Yeah. Absolutely. So what can be done for the Eagles, run defense, Q?
This team has the talent. They have the talent to be a dominant defense against the run. I've always felt that to stop the run game is more about attitude than anything. It's about want to. It's about guys getting to the football with an attitude. It's about guys getting off blocks with an attitude. It's about linebackers sacrificing their bodies, running through gaps, taking on fullbacks if they have them, or H-backs. That's what it's about. It's about playing hungry. And so that's what this defense needs to do to get back to where they were, right? When that ball goes in the air, when the quarterback drops back, you can see the hunger in everybody. You can see they're trying to get after it. I want that same tenacity to be applied when they're playing, first and second down, when they know the team's about to run the ball, when the team comes up like the Texans, when they come out in 13 personnel, ready to get after it. Like, so that to me, it's about the attitude. The attitude needs to change in terms of stopping the run, forcing the team to get into those situations where they have nothing else to do but pass. Then you can cut loose and go have fun. But you got to do the hard work, the dirty work on first and second down.
You got it's a privilege to get to third down.
Yeah.
In an advantageous situation, right? Where it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, not 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, right? Because the option to run still is available.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe that's here's my thing. I think that we have to sell out to the dirty work.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last week. I thought that our DBs, our secondary, was disinterested against the Texans when it came to the dirty work, getting their nose in there and getting dirty. I thought that same attitude was with our defensive line this week. And so we got to be committed to the dirty work and not the white collar work, not the sacks. We got to be committed to the blue collar work. Like you're saying, we got to be committed to that part. And that part is the most selfless part because that part hurts. That part doesn't affect the number of zeros that you can get in the offseason. But that part will affect the ring size that you can wrap your, that championship ring around.
Yep.
And though it's not statistically pleasing, there's something about giving up yourself for the team that when you win, everybody gets paid anyway.
Yep.
You look better. I don't care if you have 12 sacks and another dude has 16 sacks. You won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He got more opportunities to rush or whatever. He been on the field way longer than you. You know what I mean? So it's a different level. And I think that we have to commit to the dirty work. Like you said.
Yeah.
Right.
And that starts with Gannon. I mean, he's got to set the tone. Like, this is how, come into the locker room. This is how we win. This is how we're going to win. This is how we're going to win a championship. We're going to stop the run. We're going to do what it takes to stop the run. We're going to get off the ball. We're going to get off the field. On third down, we're going to come after him. We're going to get aggressive. And that's how you do it. But it's got to start at the top, man. It's got to start with Gannon.
Where's his pressure at, though, Q?
It's like he regressed.
Like what? Like this game for sure. Like why? Like what? The dude had 178 yard passing. It wasn't like he was killing us. He had no touchdowns. Right? What are we scared of? Like who? What are we doing?
I don't know, man.
Like why not be aggressive? Like why not against the Commanders? I can see if we're freaking playing the Miami Dolphins. And you blitz and that little joker, one of them jokers, Waddle or Hill. We can't catch him, coach. They got Raheem Mostert in the backfield. He get loose. You can't catch him. I'm not saying that the Commanders are, hogwash. They're NFL team. but they ain't got nobody on their team that we can't run with.
Right.
Even when Darius Slay got beat clean off the line of scrimmage, he was still in position to catch to be able to make that a contested catch and a hard catch. There had to be a perfect throw.
Yeah.
So we can run with these dudes. So I don't understand why the lack of aggression. I just don't understand it. Like, especially if they're beating the hell out of you, 9 for 12 on third downs in the first quarter. Like, come after them. Like, come after them. Change up something. They got a beat on you, coach. Call 0 blitz. See what happens. You know? I don't know.
I think it just got froze for a second there.
It froze for just a second, but it was good. It's not too long. All right. Let's keep going, Q.
All right. So yeah, you talked about this a little bit. See, I can't ever.
Yeah, Chauncey Gardner Johnson. Yeah,
he was struggling in man coverage, or in nickel. I mean, in the slot versus McLaurin.
Well, he shouldn't have been in there with him. What the hell you think this is? I heard the audio from the TV copy. McLaurin saying, "Man, what the hell y'all doing with the safety on me? Y'all can't win like this." He said it. He ain't lying. The man no liar. I would have said the same thing. Like, y'all gonna lose. If I'm the number 1 receiver and they got safety on me, I know he played nickel. I know that. And I know he's a really good player. But look at their contract size. That should let you know everything else. The one dude's getting paid $20 million a year, and he getting paid $4 million a year. That means he's $16 million better than you at running routes. What?
Hey, you telling the facts, facts.
I don't know, but that ain't Gardner Johnson's fault. Again, you got a dude out there that can play. Challenge him. Hey, Slade, we need you right now. We need you to press him. We need you to go man for the rest of this half. Or at least most of the time. Something. Yeah. That's why I said that now. That right there is Jonathan Gannon. There ain't no way around that.
It just wasn't prepared, man.
Yeah.
I know one thing. If I lined up in the slot and there was a dude in there, I'm looking to the sideline like, "Hey, yo, we gotta check out of this. This ain't right, man. I might burn the timeout if you leave me out here too long. Don't have me out here looking stupid. My family at home watching this."
Oh my God! Right?
I'm not guarding this.
You get all up in there. You got like D-Jack at number 3. Talking about and cover 11. Man, what you doing?
Timeout.
What you doing? That's like Coach Reed got me 1-on-1 backside or front side with doggone Alden Smith. Like, Coach, what the? Like, this is not a good game plan. This here time out. Are you smoking crack? How many seconds you want me to hold this block? I may get you like a quarter of a second. Like, you know what I mean?
For real.
Backside, okay, I can hold them off. Front side, it ain't no way.
You line up and Alden just staring at you like, I know you.
That dude right there was straight out of the psych ward. That
dude was crazy.
I'm talking on the field. That dude was crazy. He said the most out of bounds stuff, and just looked like he was about to go to prison. Like, you know how hard it is to make an NFL player think you ready to go to prison. You got to be a tough dude.
He was channeling his inner Charles Haley. I heard.
Man, that boy is looking like he's looking like a serial killer. Let me leave that man alone. All right.
Oh man. All right. Where we at? Yeah. So total first half plays. Wow. Washington had 51 total first half plays. Eagles had 19.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't have the ball. Couldn't get off the field.
That's crazy.
Couldn't get off the field. They made they had great third down calls. They had great third down calls. What? Let me stop. They didn't have they had great concepts. They didn't have great calls because there wasn't a bunch of motion. And that's the thing that's irritating, Q, because they lined up.
Yeah.
They weren't like tricking us and going in motion, and it was 3 people doing this stuff. It was a 2x2 rub, which is easy. You can call it out 17 different ways, right? You can in and out it. You can keep you can do so many different things to confuse a 2x2 pick route concept.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can.
Yeah. Secondary wise, there's all.
When you start getting people in bunches and they start doing this stuff, now that's intricate. They were lining up 2x2, 3x1, sometimes tight. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard at all.
It was basically like 7-on-7.
Were good, but it wasn't like it was hard to decode. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It was playing 7-on-7. That's what it was.
Yeah.
7-on-7, like in practice.
That's what we look like too. Look like we look like our DBs out there giving up, backing up. The linebackers just backing up. No, man. All right, we talked about this. 9 for 12 on third downs. Terrible. Yeah. Washington 40 minutes, 24 seconds. Eagles 19-36, right? So they had the ball the whole half. Now let's discuss this real fast, Q. Eagles, 3 interceptions. No, 3 turnovers, not 3 interceptions. 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
Jalen with the interception. So let me explain that play. I wish I'd have pulled that play up to everybody, but I'm gonna explain it to you for those that are watching in the car. So Jalen Hurts is looking at the field. So if I'm looking at the field from Jalen Hurts' perspective, at the snap at the pre-snap, I'm looking at cover 4. Right as the ball is snapped down, it goes to a cover 3, which is very, very easy to see. Now, I have a deep cross concept, the one that we've seen. Matter of fact, this is his 3rd interception on deep cross concept.
Yeah.
Dang. This is his 3rd interception on this concept. It should have been 4 if you count the one that was dropped against the Texans. No, against the Cardinals.
Oh,
it would have been 4. It would have been 4 interceptions on it. So, but this is his third pick on that concept. So it's cover 3. AJ Brown outside left has the post. The middle safety is playing kind of low, but when you see cover 3, automatically you're not thinking about throwing a post. It's not even on your radar. When you see cover 3, no matter how high or low that guy is, if it's low, you may think it's an alert. Alert is if he messed it up, I may be able to get over top of him. But traditional quarterback read cover 3, I'm working my deep cross down to my check down. My deep cross to my shallow cross, right? So it's going post, deep cross 18 yards, and then a 5-yard shallow cross that should be outflanking past that deep cross. So it kind of gives you a stretch, a 3-level stretch right there. Devontae Smith didn't even get a look, but he still didn't win clean. I know Devontae Smith as a butt kicker getting across the field on a deep cross. Nobody should be able to cover Devontae Smith. A dude to run a low 4.4 and is going all the way across the field on the 18-yard over. The guy was too close to him. Kendall Fuller was way too close to him.
Yep.
Okay, so that's number 1. Jalen decides to throw an ill-advised one, but he still made it. The guy tried interception, went through his hands, just got it past his hands, hits AJ Brown in both hands. Been a tough catch, very tough catch. Just can't let the guy intercept it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like the read. I thought that it was very, very trusting. It was aggressive. That's the only thing you can't like about it. It was aggressive. He got it there. Yeah. It was actually a dime.
Yeah.
But it's still an ill-advised throw because in cover 3, you don't think about throwing a post.
Yeah. There's gonna be a guy. There's gonna be a guy there.
There's going to be a guy that can get to it,
Right.
like the safety did. He got to it and made it hard for AJ Brown. That
And my
wasn't in the AJ Brown mode that we've seen him all year.
Well, I was watching that. So on that play, I think it might have been one play or two plays before that. You saw when he caught, I think it was either he caught it or he dropped it. I can't remember, but he came up kind of funny, like slipped funny. Did you see that? And he looked like he rolled his ankle or something.
Yeah, it's like his right ankle. And when he went to the sideline, he came out a couple plays. It was early in the game. He came out a couple plays, and he came back with a heavy right ankle tape. Yeah. So that could have been bothering him throughout the most of the game, but he slipped once. He didn't uncover on a few of them, like a slant route. And we talked about this in the pregame show. One of the best zone covering corners in the league, especially when it comes to like 3-step routes and drops and stuff like that, is Kendall Fuller. That's what he's gotten paid for.
Yes.
He gotten paid for that. Him and his brother are extremely good at zone.
Absolutely.
Okay, so and
so so like on that, I'm thinking maybe his ankles bother him, and we kind of been seeing this a little bit where Jalen's going to take that opportunity, and I think this was the first time where it kind of came up to bite him. Like the previous games when we throw into double coverage, AJ would go up and get it and make the quarterback right. So I feel like that throw, maybe he was just trusting in AJ a little bit, thinking, hey, he's going to go up there and get the ball. So I understood the throw. I see what you're saying on that. He shouldn't have thrown that, but I'm just trying to put myself in his mindset. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Like, hey, I've thrown it here before in double coverage. He came down with the ball. So maybe that's what he was doing. He's a young quarterback still. So
you can't blame him for it. I'm just saying, like, what the coach is going to tell him is that it's cover 3, throw the deep cross.
Yes. Yeah.
If it's cover 4 and this happens, that's a totally different subject. It's cover 3, throw the deep cross. The guy just wheeled and turned and got right back in position. And if he was Minkah Fitzpatrick or somebody else, that would have been an interception without it touching AJ Brown's hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, it was a really tough play for any safety, but just naturally, not without it getting batted up into his hand, just him catching it by himself, a tough play for any safety. But they're going to tell him, I see what you're being aggressive. You made the throw. Our guy didn't come down with it, but it was still in harm's way. So just throw the deep cross.
Got you. By the way, I hate that route concept. As a defender, that's one of the most, when you're in single high, that's one of the most difficult for middle safety to do, because you see both guys, as Jason was explaining, you see both guys going like this, and they're running away from the corners. And as a deep safety, you're like, oh, man, here we go. And your first instinct is to take one of them, and usually it's the one that's bait that they want you to take, the shorter one, and you jump up on it. And you got a touchdown over here. So I remember you explaining that. I hated that concept. I hated playing against it because you need 3 guys to cover it.
He took one step to it. The safety took one step to it, and that's why Jalen put it up. He took one step to it, but he didn't commit to it. And it was cover 3, but the corner was carrying for some reason. It could have been man, but but the corner was carrying, Devontae, and Devontae got to get over it quicker too.
Yeah,
that's a whole different subject. He got to get over there fast. You run over there. This is what I always teach. You run up the field for 5 yards, and then you set your angle over there. You start going over there. If his man coverage, you stop, look at him for a second, not even stop all the way, and then you do a man move. But head in your direction. If a guy started to impede you, do a man move then. But don't just anticipate a man move. No, go on the other side of the field, and then you do it. Let's talk about Gardner's fumble. I done told you. I done told you. I love Dallas. My knock on Dallas always has been the dude carries the ball too loose. Was it a face mask? It was 100% a face mask. The entire stands know it. The referees knew it. They started calling some bogus stuff, like the call for the field goal, I don't know what the hell that was. I looked at that play 72 times trying to figure out what they were calling. There was nothing that the Commanders did on that field goal that he declined the penalty on. They didn't do anything wrong on that play. There was nothing wrong on it. Like I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, what happened? There was nothing wrong. It was nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong. But they were trying to make up for that play. And referees do that. Referees definitely do that. They realize that we got a call wrong. They feel like they got to even out the game. We're gonna get to that dumb decision of not taking the penalty. That was stupid. Right. But Dallas got a fumbles and face mask for sure. Ball still not protected, and you got to know that you're around people.
Yeah,
you're still in the middle of the format. You got to hold the ball tight, and you got to put two arms around it, right? And I'm not saying that the ball wouldn't have came out, but the ball would have came out once you hit the ground because they still pinned the shoulder, so the ball was going to come out regardless. But it wouldn't have came out when you were running. It came out when you hit the ground, and that's just something that Dallas Goedert has a weakness of. He holds the ball too loose. He just does. I've said that to you before.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Quez fumble, I understand it. Still got to protect the football. Quez got up thinking, oh, man, I just caught this post. The guy that I just ran past is over there to the left because he looks up to the left. He like, my dude ain't nowhere near to be found, and got him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I actually understand that
one. Those are all three of those, even Dallas's, I'm okay with those turnovers in the sense that they weren't just bonehead turnovers. Like you said, Quez is hustling, trying to make a play. Goddard, he carries the ball loosely. He's trying to make a play.
He's trying to make a play, but he's in the crowd.
Yes, very true. Good point.
He's in the crowd, and he's catching a screen. You don't get loose on the screen until you about 10, 12 yards down the field. You 5 yards down the field, man. It's people right there.
Strong people.
Yeah, big dudes. Earl and them. You know what I mean? Like big dudes. Like, yeah.
Hopefully this is a wake-up call, man.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you remember the program? Remember that movie? I might be aging myself a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I remember the program.
He had to carry the football around.
Yeah. Oh, my
God.
Eagles offense, receivers play. We talked about that. Receiver play lost. I thought the offensive line had penalties.
Yeah.
We had penalties. I don't think that the offensive line played a bad game.
Yeah.
I thought they were able to run the ball. I just think that we didn't have as many possessions as we would like. Later in the game, we gave up some pressure. But I thought I don't believe the offensive line played a bad game.
Yeah, I think they were solid. Can't fault them at all for this.
Yeah. All right, let's transition to Mojo. Mojo is building the sports stock market where you can invest in your favorite players. Invest in what you know. Turn your sports knowledge into real money with Mojo, the sports stock market. Real stats, real value. Shares entitle you to a guaranteed payout based on career-ending stats. No off days, no off season. Share prices rise and fall constantly in real time based on career-long projections. Cash out anytime. Build a portfolio. Buy and sell on your terms every play, every game, or every season. Mojo is available in New Jersey on iOS by just downloading the app. You have the chance to win up to $10,000 in free shares of player stock. Click the link in description for a chance to win up to $10,000 in free shares of player stock. Must be 21 years and older and physically located in New Jersey to trade on Mojo. Have a gambling problem? Help is available at 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's talk about Mojo and the players that are rising and falling. For the Eagles team, there's a few players that are rising. Well, there's one player that's rising. Quez Watkins had 4 receptions for 80 yards, 75 yards, whatever it was. Led the team in receiving yards. His player stock went up 4.9%. Do you think Quez is a guy that you can buy and sell on Mojo?
Yeah, I would buy. I'm gonna buy Quez. I think he's gonna have a big game going into playing the Colts next week, going in Indianapolis. Rookie head coach. They're gonna be probably loading up to stop our run game, try to stop AJ. You've been saying it all year. He's gonna make up for his mistake in the last game. I'm gonna take Quez at plus 4.9%. Let's take it.
All right. Gardner Minshew down 0.45%, is not playing much right now. I'm definitely not. I'm definitely selling. Jalen Hurts is down 1.42% just because he had 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, only had 6 carries. He had 1 touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. He still counted for 3 touchdowns last night.
Yeah, I'm
Hurts
surprised.
was held under 200 yards passing for just the second time this season.
I think he'll be all right. He's going to be bouncing back.
He'll bounce back. All right, now let's talk about around the league. Oh, no. Before we get around the league, A.J. Brown is down 2.5%, 1 reception, 7 yards. Tweaked this ankle, had a wrap on it. Do you think he's going to be hindered for the rest of, the upcoming games and where his stats are going to continue to decline?
That's a tough one, man. He's a big, strong dude. I don't know. That's a tough one. Ankles are tough, man, because they're hard to come back from. I'm gonna say it's gonna take him a couple games to get back to full speed because he still didn't. Even when he came back in the game, he didn't. He wasn't there. He wasn't the same person, the same explosive. So let's give him a couple weeks. I would give him a couple weeks.
And I love AJ Brown. I just want to see him attacking the ball. I don't like seeing Kendall Fuller and that's the thing that you just saw last night. Is that the Commanders, I keep saying Cleveland, close saying Redskins, but the Commanders they wanted it more than we did.
Yes.
They had more energy in the link than we did.
Yep.
The sideline was rocking more than our sideline. Like they were feeding off each other, feeding off Heineke and his gesturing and all that stuff. Irritating. Miles Sanders is down 2%. 2.04%, 12 carries, 54 yards. After 3 straight games with a touchdown, got kept out of the end zone last night. I think Miles Sanders is a guy that I would be buying just because they had 20 rushing yards at 4.7 yards a carry. They're going to say we need to run the ball more, and I believe he's going to be a recipient of it. So it's a great time to buy Miles Sanders.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even Boston Scott. Where's Boston? What's his numbers at?
Yeah, Boston is down 1.64. Yeah.
I'll be buying him too because when he's in the game, he comes in the game, he scores touchdowns every time. So
yeah,
there you go.
There we go. So that's our Mojo predictions for this upcoming week. And so make sure that you are checking out Mojo, the sports stock market. Gambling problems, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There it is.
And we'll segue in right into our last section. Before we do that, Launch Trampoline Park, Deptford, New Jersey. Launch Trampoline Park, Deptford, New Jersey. I will personally hit your kid in the face with a dodgeball, and I will dunk on him on our new slam ball court. In the face. Yes, I will do that just for you at Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. Come on, have your birthday party with us. It's an amazing time. All right, topic 3. Let's go, Q.
All right, man. Looking ahead. Got the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Packers, Aaron Jones, Titans, King Henry, Giants, Saquon. You see where we're getting at with this. All right. Is there trouble on the horizon?
Did you know the Packers ran the ball 60% of the time this past game?
I did not know that.
Dude, they went in overtime. Aaron Rodgers had 28 attempts.
Wow.
In overtime.
That's crazy.
They ran the ball 60% of the time. They had over 40 rushing attempts.
Against the Cowboys, too. Damn. Huh.
Yeah.
Go figure, right?
Go
they
figure.
ended up winning the game.
Also, old Jeff Saturday comes back in. And my man Jonathan Taylor decided to show up and be the MVP again. Put in Matty Ice, Sam, whatever, and Ellinger. Get out of here. Put Matty Ice back in. Run the ball.
Crazy, man. Receivers catching the ball again. Pittman
catching the ball. Watson catching it now. All this being said, this is a tumultuous road.
Yeah.
This is a storm.
It's crazy. Because two weeks ago,
quick.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Remember, we were talking about they could probably get a chance to run the table. How much has changed in 2 weeks? Jordan Davis gets hurt. Go out there against the Texans.
Avante Maddox is hurt.
And then now we got teams that are starting to go this way. Colts starting maybe, one game. Packers, they've always been a threat. They're starting to look a little better. Titans got
they're getting better.
They're getting better. Giants have been kind of dangerous. The Bears, Justin Fields running all over everybody. It's crazy, man. Like, that's how crazy this game is and how quickly it changed in a matter of a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's trouble ahead, and it's going to test our desire to want to play this game in the way we can't play the game the way we've been playing it, right? Expecting teams to be down,
yeah,
and just our defensive line pinning their ears back. No, we got to be a concerted effort to get off the field when it comes to stopping the run first, and then we got to get more aggressive, like Jonathan Gannon, man. Bring back the change-ups, man. I don't want you just lapsing back into 2021 Jonathan Gannon, man. You can't lapse and do that stuff. That's not acceptable, sir. It's not acceptable. We won't accept it here in Philadelphia. Don't come out there like that. Don't come out there like that again. And I got nothing but love for you. But that's not acceptable. All right? Get after people's ass or stay in the locker room.
For real.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like do that. Do that. Be more conservative in the red zone. How about that? That's when you be conservative in the red zone. Don't let them score. Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. Let's get after it, man.
Colts dangerous after getting the dub Saturday? Yes. New coach, new energy. Got Jonathan Taylor the ball again.
Oof.
He's healthy
so dangerous,
again.
Man. I like watching him play.
They get a good defense. They did just lose Darius Leonard for the season, though.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty tough.
I'm still not buying Jeff Saturday, though. I'm still not buying it yet.
I listen. Whether he win or not, you still can't change my mind when it comes to all the people that they overlooked in order to give, my homeboy that like to go drinking with me every couple months a job. I ain't lying. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised they stood for it, because I'm surprised John that Gus Bradley didn't call zero coverage every single play.
Oh man, that's gonna be messed up. We out there trying to throw the game. Gus is like, man, I gotta get a job somewhere. I can't show that. I'm out here after this season. Let me call my best game.
You're right.
Yeah. What NFC teams do you think match up well versus the Eagles in the playoff game?
Right now, all of them. I mean, are we talking?
They've exploited our weaknesses, and no team is scared of us. The tragedy of playing poorly on Monday Night Football.
Everybody sees it.
Everybody sees it. And I tell you, who's going to come on? Who's going to come on strong? And I've been saying it all year.
Who's that?
The 49ers.
Yep.
The 49ers is going to figure it out, y'all.
Yep.
The 49ers are going to figure it out.
They still got Garoppolo, though, at quarterback.
I don't care who they got at quarterback. Garoppolo took them to a Super Bowl.
Good point.
The more playmakers you have, the less he got a chance he got to touch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I believe that Kyle Shanahan is probably, top 2, 3, not 2, 3, 3, 4 coaches in the league, offense coaches for sure. I think so. I love Kyle Shanahan and his variety on offense, like his different formations, personnel changes, what he's doing without a pure receiver. Like they don't have a pure receiver. They don't. They have their purest receiver is Ayuk. Ayuk is more of a run after the catch guy. Drops a lot of passes, can run good routes, but just not a pure receiver.
I'm just that scheme. I'm just not. I don't know, I'm just not sold on that scheme because it's all. If you can stop the run against that, if you can stop the zone run, they have nothing because everything is off the play action.
They got some, but they got hard people to cut. Like when you got Kittle, who's a nightmare matchup. You got Debo, who you can't tackle. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got Usek. You got Trent Williams that's back, that just came back on the left tackle. Right. So off, and then you got one of the best defenses in the league. So they're just a dangerous team. That's just my thought. I think that's a dangerous team. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
We will see. The Vikings are finding ways to win football games.
By the way, I know we got answer. Did you watch that game?
That catch? Yeah, I saw the game.
That game was amazing, start to finish. The Vikings and the Bills game was the best game of the year. That game was crazy.
I was so mad at Josh Allen for throwing that terrible pick. That was too bad. His last 2 games looked like he'd been point shaving, man. That boy, listen. I'm set. Look, his last 2 games, you cannot go back and look at these games. I looked at both of them. I've seen the tape back, like the coach's tape back. His interceptions look like he's throwing a football. It seemed like somebody he owes some money. It seemed like it's some Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan stuff going on with Josh Allen. Yeah, this the mob up there in Buffalo. I'm telling you.
He threw that Dino super late. Patrick Peterson was almost like, oh, he really throwing this? Okay.
Am I lying? No, he threw that thing 5 steps after the break. It's like, who else is going to catch it? Like who? Like what? You thought you were going to get it through there? Your guy had already started to scramble. He like, man, this is the 4th step. He throw this ball, I'm going to the hospital. I ain't about to keep running in here. That was an awful decision. Awful one. And then the other one, the Patrick Peterson, was right to him. This man ain't had to work for a pick. Normally, you got to put in work. I'm talking about you got to be like in there, like putting up boxes in the Amazon warehouse in order to get a pick in the National Football League. You got to put in work. These dudes turn around like, oh, here you go, son. I'm telling you, Josh Allen owes some money. These last 2 games, they ain't looking like him. He owes some money. He throwing the ball right in the middle of the 2 numbers on the person's chest while they're heading in his direction. So he's giving him a head start. I'm telling you.
Oh man, that's the kind of picks I needed. Yeah. I can't really catch, so I needed ones like Patrick Peterson. Where was he at when I was like,
man?
I got like, we got to dive around, turn around this way, try to get a pick. I want one of them easy ones like that, just nice and easy.
Nice. The funniest thing is that he tweeted or said something like, everybody talking about like, I'm done. Boy, you can't run. That boy caught a pick. It looked like an elephant was on his back. That boy took 15 steps to get 7 yards. I said, man, he just threw you the ball, Patrick. He threw you the ball. That's it. It wasn't because you was balling. He just threw it right to you. All right, man. Let me start talking about people. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Q&A podcast. Hopefully, our team can play better next week. Lord knows we need it. Make sure that you email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Again, insidethebirds@gmail.com. Thanks to Jeff and Adam, Josh, and everyone at Inside the Birds for making this show a success, and all the fans that are tuning in. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Avant. Have a great night. Q has the last word.
As always, man, appreciate it, everybody. Thank you for supporting us. Jay, love talking to you as always, man. It's always fun.
Always fun. Peace.